Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's the day after Christmas 2023, and one of the things Thea and I enjoy doing is going back and looking at some of our videos over time to see the progress that we've made. Documenting what you're doing over time, I think, is a valuable tool to see the progress you're making over time. And so what I thought I'd do today is this is going to end with some drone footage taken on Christmas, which was a beautiful, sunny, warm day here in central New York, unlike any typical winter day. And we're taking a look at the new property, the property that we bought behind our house on the next road. So the property that you're used to seeing, where the homestead and all the buildings are at the bottom of the screen, below the bottom of the screen here. But what I'm doing now is going back and using Google Earth to take a look at some time shots that were taken, satellite photographs. So in April of 2006, so this is the house right here. This is a garage, an attached barn. This is where a horse shed was up here. And there was a building put in over here at one point. Carol used to have horses go over in this pasture here, so she fenced off right along in here. The property line goes right down in this direction, all the way down the screen. I have since put in a road and tree lines all along in here. All along in here, and you'll see some growth develop over here in this whole area to make a change. Same thing over in here until we get to the drone shot. So this is April 2006, and here we are in June 2011. So the property line is actually here, but you can see because she had it fenced off, there's a lot of growth in this area since then. Here, May 2015. April 2017 during the real early spring, and here we are October 2019, June 2023. So that was earlier this past summer. Now I'm grabbing the drone on Christmas Day, a beautiful sunny day, going up. I'm at base camp down there where there's enough of a clearing overhead I could actually lift raise the drone without going overhead and hitting some branches. And what's straight ahead of us here is the large beaver pond. You might be able to see a couple of swan on the right part of the large beaver lodge out in the middle of the beaver pond. Lots of heron nests out there as well. And so now we're coming around. We're actually at the midway. I'm on the new property right now with the drone directly below us. But this is neighbor's property here. Here's our the road called Honey Hill Road. And I'm just getting oriented here. And the house is over on the far right of the screen. But I'm just going to go ahead and fly up here a little ways. So one of the roads I put in is right in this location right in here. And the other one is right over in here, going up and heading up here. And this was all grown in tree line all the way out to here. And this is a lot of what I cleared this fall. You may remember a lot of the work there. There's big hugelkultur pits in these areas. But you can see it's really wet area up in here. And so there's a lot of reflection off of this. Hopefully within the next 2 years I want to clear along this road and clear along this stone wall here as well. I have those materials I want to use in other places, and I want to get this so that we drain this section of property so it isn't always saturated. So there's some areas right up in here you just sink out of sight. You can see my track marks up in the area. Here's a pile of topsoil I had in here. This is the area that I was showing using the Saker pole saw up in this area. There was a building right over here in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. That building I took out. This is the house right here. It's a modular home, double-wide modular home, a garage, and attached, almost a double-wide garage, and a small barn here. The horse run-in sheds were right over in here. Those are ones I took down this past fall. There's a handicap ramp in front of the house if you're wondering what that is. This small building I'll end up taking down. The dog that lived in this building here, he wouldn't tolerate living indoors. He passed away. I buried him this fall as well. This is an area I've been working on. This is a swale system I put in to go to the new pond. This is a large hugelkultur pit right in here. And so just going to fly down. I have a lot of work to dress things up, and then hopefully next year, maybe next fall, I'll be able to start reforesting this area. The new pond is beginning right in here. I have more earth to move out, piles of dirt here, that I've got it cleaned up in a small pile here, another pile over here. So here's the new pond we put in on this property. I think it took me 3 days to put this one in, because once you dig, then I had to move the piles out. Each time I would excavate a section of the pond, I'd make a large pile and then have to come in and move the pile. This is the spillway that I put in because this pond filled up. There is a spring feeding to this pond, and this feeds off. There's a stone wall here. There's actually a pile of stone right in that location, and it feeds down into this area. I'll be putting in a vernal pool and a pond down there. The house is right up in here, and you might be able to see the solar panels as well. Another view of the pond. This is one of those large rocks that was right over in here someplace. And I have once I get this landscaped around here, we'll seed it with some or transplant some native ground cover plants in the area. All these rocks that I had, these are good sitting rocks. I know they look like pebbles on this video, but they're nice sitting rocks like I did with Pond 8. Again, this is a hugelkultur pit right in here. The swale that comes down and feeds into the pond. Spent a lot of time working up in here, moving a lot of fill. This is a small building I'll take down next season when the weather permits. But we're both very happy with the amount of cleanup that we've done here. The other building was right over here. That building's gone now. And the small undulations, because at one time this was a big field, but these trees are about 30 years old now, the ones that are in here. The more mature trees are. There's larger trees around in here that are probably about 50, 60 years old. This is the tree line you can see. So these are English oaks all down here, and honey locust trees planted all down on the property line there, while just inside our property line. This is where one of the roadways comes up and comes into the new property, and then there's a roadway that goes across here and a separate roadway that goes down over in that direction there. It's much easier to see when the foliage is off the trees. A bit boring view right here, but hopefully we'll pan up in a moment and see what we're doing. It looks like we can see the beaver pond on the right-hand side of the screen, upper right-hand corner. So that's all beaver ponds around. There's another dam right at the very top center of the screen right here. And then you'll see the dams over here. This is where base camp is. Right over in here is where base camp is, lower right-hand corner. The large beaver pond here. It's a large flock of geese over in this section. And there's another flock of geese right up in there as well. Not sure if we'll be able to see much. The beaver are every day putting more and more logs on top of their lodge out here in the pond. If you look down through the pond, you can actually see some of the underwater canal systems that the beaver have put in. And if you're lucky enough to see them, they'll take some of these big logs at real early morning hours or at dusk. You may see them traversing the area and dragging them and piling them up on the beaver lodge. Really fascinating to watch them. Here's some Canada geese over in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And again, you can see those trails or canal systems that the beaver cut through the area. Here's one of the roadways we've got in here. This is a beaver crossing right here. This is all upper beaver pond, second lower beaver pond, about 6 feet lower, and this one's about 6 feet lower than this. So this is about 12 feet lower. The surface of the water here is about 12 feet lower than the surface level of the water here. You can see some of the access roads in different areas where they go and cruise. Here's another, so right here is one beaver crossing. Here is another beaver crossing. And there are other places that they cross as well. This is the canal system that they opened up between the canal system that I built. This is one of the big beaver crossing canal systems. This is pretty tall, about 6, maybe 7 foot tall, this marsh material here. But they've got it tunneled out underneath it, and they can traverse long distances between the various dams on the property. Over here is the pond that the beavers are building now. This was just a simple canal system. Over the last couple of years, you could see I worked on this. This is the spillway here that I have to keep under control, and the area there. So this is the lowest level of beaver ponds that we've got right here. About 12, the surface of this water is about 12 feet below the upper beaver pond that we were first at out there. There are muskrat huts here, but the muskrats tend to cohabit with the beaver here as well. There's the beaver crossing right here. The roadways right along their dam walls. These roadways are constructed out of stone, from stone walls. You can see the beaver dams work the way around the perimeter, all around in here. We build our roads away from it some. And this is one of the roads I built last year. This is going from one piece of property, from our original property over to the new property. And again, you could see some from the overhead view. You can actually see the traces of where the beaver actually pull their materials, and there are places I can't see anywhere. You'll see piles of sticks that they stick into the under surface areas, so that during the winter months they can get access to all of the woody material that has the cambium and the bark still on it, so that they can eat and bring it into their lodge during the cold winter months. So we're heading back up again now. Going to be going over the same area, pretty much flying the drone rather slowly. For us, it's easier to be able to look down in some of these spots and see what changes we're making each year or each couple of years at fall time, and during when it's in full foliage and when the fall colors are there. So we can tell which species based on the foliage as well, even from a drone view, by examining it over time. There's still a heck of a lot of dead ash trees in here that I've got to work on, but that's just part of the process. You can see a little bit of the outline of the road here, and this is where it cuts over to the new pond that's over there. Here are some of the logs that I took down this season. Soil here, tree line going right down here that That's right, just on our side of the pond, of the property line, rather. And when I do these views and when I'm down in the ground, I'm trying to figure out, well, which trees are going to be damaging when I go to transplant many of those oak trees and tupelos, the locust trees, all the different trees that we want to do. And then the fruit trees, we have to think about, okay, am I just creating more work for myself and this is going to die soon because this tree isn't going to last very long. It's already dead and the tops are going to fall and it could do damage to some of the new growth that we're transplanting into the area. So first we start off by getting the slopes of the land, getting the swales where they need to be, so we can control water so that we're not, when the ground isn't completely saturated all the time, and so that we can get the soil relatively flat in the areas. One of the goals is to flatten out the areas so that we can move through the area, so we can control the growth, the ground growth that's going to start as we try to take care of the young trees as they're growing, because we need to leave enough space in between the trees. And here's our workshop right in this area. Not sure, you'll probably be able to see some of the solar panels right in here in a moment or so. But we're really blessed to have really nice property here. And again, it's the old town dump next to us. It's a gravel mine next to us. What many people would call useless swampland around here. And so we make the best out of it, control the water. The beaver do a great deal for us. They really recharge the aquifer, which is so important. Water is life, and we're really thankful for the abundance, the beautiful ecosystem that the beavers have created. So you can see down here one of their dams right in this location. There's another dam right down here as well. So the beaver are doing their job, and for the most part, everyone in this property owners around here have learned to live with the beaver, which is really, really wonderful. Again, you can see some of the roadways here, and the roadways work their way up to our original property and all. So that's about it. I'm about to land the drone now. Actually, it doesn't land that smoothly. It actually flips over on me, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. So I had to take the drone apart and clean all the mud out of the motors and do a few quick repairs with it as well. So this is we like to share these with other people so that they can get some idea of where we are, the progress that we're making over time, and the transitions. There'll be a couple more videos that I'll make in the future similar to this, looking at Google Earth transitions over time. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.